Hi folks, welcome to this video on PE and the national curriculum. Okay, so questions on this topic are going to be based around the subject of physical education in state schools as it's taught today. As you can see, PE came in 1988, so if you want to know what happened before 1988, you need to be looking at the video on state school education, the one on military drill, right through to moving and growing. 1988 is the last major syllabus change where PE came in for the first time. So PE is compulsory in UK schools. So why is it compulsory? I suppose what I'm saying is, what are the aims of the PE national curriculum? Well, there are lots of reasons for doing PE. So let's just deal with them quickly one at a time. Excuse me. Obviously, the common one is we've got to improve health and fitness of people in this country. We've got an issue with childhood obesity, but also adult obesity. A third of adults is currently obese, not overweight, obese. So we need to get children doing activity at an early age, and weirdly this first point links with this bottom one. Get them playing sport for life. Okay, don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait till they're overweight or obese before you start doing physical activity with them. If they start doing sport early doors, they'll continue it through their lives. How do we do that? Well, giving them a range of activities. Okay, so in other words, if you do a vast variety of activities, each person is more likely to find an activity or sport that they enjoy and therefore going to be willing to play for the rest of their lives. If you just play football all the time, that's great if you like football. If you don't like football, you're going to hate PE and you're going to quit sport as soon as you leave school. Okay? I'll just quickly move a few things around on the screen, just create a bit more space. But the point is, as part of the national curriculum, every child should experience those 6 activities. Games, as in team games, but things like tennis as well, volleyball, anything like that. Athletics, swimming, outdoor and adventurous activities, dance and gymnastics. If you teach that range of activities, they're more likely to pick up a sporting habit for life because they'll find an activity that they love, and that's going to improve their health and fitness. So a lot of these are linked. In teaching all these different sports, you're also going to develop physical, social and cognitive skill development. Physical skills, the actual sports techniques. Social, teamwork, communication, leadership. But cognitive, problem solving, decision making, things like that. There's a theory element, so they're going to get knowledge of the body, how it works, how to fuel it, correct things to eat. But things they're going to need in life as well. Sportsmanship, they're going to have to learn to be fair. Okay? They're going to have to learn to be competitive. You know, when we go for job interviews or when you're applying for a place at university, you're up against other people, so you've got to learn to be competitive. You've got to learn to be creative, okay, in terms of using your body in different ways to achieve different goals. It should develop your self-esteem. I think the issue is in this country, too often, sport ruins self-esteem because if you're not good at sport, you get picked on and bullied a little bit. You know, we need more emphasis on participation. What else it should teach you to be is a critical performer, i.e. you should be able to analyse performance. Remember, a very, very low percentage of people make it as elite performers. But that doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't do sport and get a career in sport. What about coaching? What about sports science? You need to pick up the skills in terms of looking at performance, identifying strengths and weaknesses, and then putting in plans for improvements. And like we said, to generate a sporting habit for life. So they're the aims of the PE national curriculum. Just another quick one in terms of PE, as well as achieving all those aims. Well, sorry, in order to achieve those aims, you've got to experience a variety of roles. Okay, in terms of national curriculum PE, you should experience life and roles as a bit of a performer, because that's what's going to allow you to develop the physical, social and cognitive skills. If you're performing these sports, you're developing all these sets of skills. Separate to that is the critical performer, because you're going to learn to analyse performance, ID strengths and weaknesses, and offer methods for improvement. Those of you that did GCSE PE, think about your PEP, your 6-week training programme. You had to look at your performance, analyse where the strengths and weaknesses were, then produce a 6-week training programme in order to improve those performance. That was teaching you to be a critical performer. I am critiquing my performance. Okay, that links in with this, because if you can do that for yourself, you can do that with other people. So it's teaching you to be a bit of a coach. Okay, but you also get knowledge of tactics and strategy as part of the PE national curriculum. You should have experienced life as a bit of an official, decision making, okay, taking responsibility, taking charge of a situation, and because dance is on the PE national curriculum, a choreographer as well. So they're the different roles that you should experience as part of the PE national curriculum. The government target in this country, in the UK, is every student should have the opportunity to do 2 to 5 hours of PE per week for all of the reasons mentioned in the first couple of minutes of this little video. You know, the health benefits and the physical and social cognitive skill development, etc., etc. The reality is many children are getting nowhere near that. So what we're going to deal with first are the reasons why we are not getting 2 to 5 hours of PE per subject, per student per week, okay? So, one of the big issues is the actual time itself. Maths, English, Science in the UK, your core subjects, so that's what the vast majority of schools are measured on, the grades that their students obtain in these subjects. So, if there's extra time for PE, why isn't there extra time for these core subjects? These core subjects take priority, unfortunately, in PE, as well as music and drama and, other subjects often get time cut from them to increase time taught on these priority subjects. There's also a funding issue, particularly in terms of OAA and swimming and things like that. If you haven't got a swimming pool, if you haven't got easy access to the natural environment, how can you put on these activities? How can you get the right amount of time done on these activities? Linked in with that is the staff, your specialisms. The vast majority of PE teachers in this country are very well qualified, and the vast majority of them have coaching qualifications in football, hockey, netball, cricket, rounders, basketball, things like that. But not many of them have qualifications in dance or trampolining or swimming or outdoor adventurous activities. So that affects the amount of time you can spend on these subjects. And also facilities and equipment ties in with that, okay? The one thing I've in terms of the quality of what you've got, the thing that I've not neglected, but time there, don't forget, PE teachers in this country teach the same amount of time as teachers of other subjects, but they're expected to put on sport after school hours. Now, they don't get paid for that, and they don't get time back for that. So again, there's an issue of, a bit of reluctance there to offer extracurricular sport if they're not getting any financial or time credit for it. So what we're going to do now is look at the importance, though, of trying to solve these problems and the importance of trying to get 2 to 5 hours a week. Why should we try and get this amount of time on PE every single week? And to be honest, it's some of, and not excluding many of the ones that we looked at the first part of the slideshow. Why should we try and do it? You're going to learn different roles: officials, performers, critical performers, choreographers, coaches, things like that. Teaches you to be competitive, allows you to improve your health and fitness, and also, let's not forget, it's about talent ID and talent development and getting young kids playing sport. And maybe it is for the health benefits, but it can also be to generate some elite performers. So they're going to get successful careers in sport. So it's very, very important that we try and do as much as we can. What's one strategy for this? What can we try and do to increase this? We need to increase the amount of what we call school sport / extracurricular. Which is what we're just going to briefly look at now. You might be thinking, I thought we were talking about school sport. There is a difference between PE and school sport, and that's what we'll look at now. So, PE versus school sport sometimes comes up as a little 2 or 3 mark question. So let's get down what we know about these. So PE versus school sport. So here's just a little quick plan of the key differences between them. So PE is compulsory, whereas school sport is optional. Why? Well, jump down, second to bottom point, PE is timetabled, whereas school sport is your extracurricular sport, done after school hours or done on lunch times, things like that. With that in mind, then PE are taught lessons, whereas school sport is coached sessions, and as a result, PE is less competitive, still has elements of competition in it, but school sport is definitely more competitive. Now, like we've said, the problem is we need to get 2 to 5 hours. On its own, PE, you're not going to get 2 to 5 hours. You barely get 2 in most schools. Add them together, we can try and get somewhere between 2 and 5 hours of physical activity per week for each child. Okay? But like we said, the issue is staffing. Who's staffing it? If the PE teachers aren't getting paid, not getting the time back. And what we're going to talk about here is an option for doing this, for doing school sport, using something called Club Links. Okay, that's what we're going to look at now. Now, a school sport on Club Link does exactly what it says in the tin. You link a club with a school. Okay? Now, the point is, what is the benefit of that? How is this beneficial? Okay? Well, when you think about it, the benefits are relatively obvious. So by linking a club to a school, in this, this example I've put here, linking a football club to a school, you're more likely to achieve your 2 to 5 hours of physical activity target, because now you can't get the 2 to 5 hours within the timetable, so let's offer more outside of the timetable. Now, maybe not with football, but certainly in some sports, you're going to get better coaching. Why? Well, your PE teachers might not have a volleyball coaching qualification, but this guy or girl who wants to set up a volleyball club link with your school will have a volleyball coaching qualification. So you're going to get a better quality of coaching in certain sports, and you're not having to rely on the generosity of PE staff to give up their extra time. Okay? As a result, though, this club gets free use of your facilities. They don't have to pay for any facilities. They're getting free use of your sports hall, your fields, your playgrounds, etc. And as a result of that, your students can access these facilities and coaching for free after school hours. It's going to generate community links. Okay, more people in the community. You're going to be able to join or participate or observe or get involved in coaching within that setup. And also, it's going to improve the range of sports on offer. If I can get more clubs from a variety of sports linked to my school, we can offer more sports to the school and to the students, and it opens up that breadth of activity again. More chance of you finding a sport that you're going to love, okay, and play for the rest of your life. Now, it's got to be planned out, it's got to work effectively. So with that in mind, let's just quickly minimise this a little bit, put it over here. What things do we need to make sure happen for this thing to be effective? Well, let's just have a quick look at that. So in order for these club links to work, we've got to advertise to the school students, let them know what's taking place and when. We can provide them with taster sessions. So, we don't have to commit to these clubs fully. Let's see how they go first. Promote the health and fitness benefits. You might enjoy this sport, but it might not be about competition for you and playing competitive sport. It might just be about health and fitness. And because the clubs are getting free use of facilities, we can either discount it heavily or we can make the sessions free, which again is going to increase participation rates. So that's the importance of generating club links with local schools, okay? So I suppose a good place to end this is on this little topic here, which sometimes, comes up. Why is PE compulsory? Why are we obsessed with increasing the amount of PE, the quality of PE in school sport and physical activity? i.e., the government's putting money into it. Now, let's be brutally honest, they're not doing that with the goodness of their hearts. No government or political party does. There's got to be ulterior motives. So what are the reasons why PE is still compulsory and school sport, we're trying to increase school sport and club links? What are the benefits on society as a whole? Well, there are quite a few, and it's quite common sense again when you think about it. So let's look at them to finish off. Well, what's all over the news in recent years? The strain on the NHS, on our National Health Service. What if we get people fitter and healthier? There is less strain on the NHS. It will save the government billions of pounds by reducing the strain, by improving the health and fitness of the British population. Also, all these coaching jobs, that means employment figures are going to go up. More people employed as coaches, more people selling equipment and selling merchandise and sports clothing and retail and things like that. And again, how does that benefit the government? Well, more people employed means more people paying taxes. So that's another big one as well. But it's also going to reduce antisocial behaviour. I worked as a sports development officer, back in the day, and my job was to go into fairly rough inner city areas and try and promote sport. And whilst the children were playing sport with me, they weren't graffitiing, they weren't causing assaults, they weren't stealing from shops and things like that. So it definitely does work. But obviously, the more children we get playing sport, the more elite talent we're going to develop, and that's going to lead to, as you've got Andy Murray there, Wimbledon champions, Olympic gold medalists, Olympic athletes in all different varieties of sports, swimming, cycling, whatever. Get more kids doing more sports, we're going to develop more talent. And also we're going to get better interaction within local communities. Very often sports clubs and sports teams are at the heart of local communities. It's why parents talk to each other when they wouldn't normally do so. Children hang out with other children that they wouldn't have normally met, only because they've got an interest in that sport and they both play for the same team. So there's lots of reasons why we are trying to increase PE, school sport and physical activity. Hope you found this video useful, folks.